I hate to say it, but it just keeps getting worse. Now, I usually ignore Sims 4 kits, but the Bikini Bottom SpongeBob kits honestly have been raising my eyebrows. If notable issues upon launch and a promo that pushes advertisement of other Sims 4 packs. Now, first thing you need to know is the bundle promises bonus items if you order them in a limited time period, something I already don't like, but many Simmers aren't even getting these bonus items. Now, the Sims team supposedly is working on this, but why does this happen with almost every single pack? I'll say never buy a pack right away for bonus items because it is just not worth it. Even though these are very tiny kits, unfortunately, the problems don't end there. The other problem you need to know about was covered by Sims Community's review of the kit, and all those bonus items, they show up for 0 simoleons. Now, to be honest, showing up for 0 simoleons I don't consider to be a major bug, and usually I just don't really care. However, I will argue that these are kits, and my issue is, of course, unlike a Sims 4 expansion pack, these are kits, they have very little content, they're not adding any new script gameplay, and it should be really easy to catch these issues. Now, once again, I'm not saying it's the end of the world, but these two issues together are very sloppy. Overall, it just gives the idea that they're just pushing content out and they really need to slow down, which I've said so many times before. And now, of course, I also want to talk very quickly about the promo trailer. Now, we don't always get promo trailers for kits. I did assume they would do something bigger because they've been really pushing this one, and I don't have a problem inherently with that, but the video I do have a problem. Now, the problem is this promo in particular actually is showing off other Sims 4 packs. This promo shows gameplay from packs like Outdoor Retreat, Get Famous, Island Living, Horse Ranch, and more. I think maybe even City Living. And honestly, I might not have caught all of them. It does show it pretty quickly, but basically you have to have all those packs to actually experience that environment. And my argument is, why do they need to do this? It just feels very needlessly aggressive. You could easily show out the new build buy items in just the base game alone, or just have screenshots as well. It just seems really silly and also just kind of obnoxious. Now, they have shown other packs in promoting other packs before. The most notable times were expansion packs like Businesses and Hobbies and also Adventure Awaits. With these packs, they were really showcasing the new cross-pack compatibility, and at the time, I had some mixed emotions about this. On one hand, it does show the extent you can use these packs if you have other content, and yes, that is part of the value of the pack. On the other hand, I can understand why people think this too is pushy. However, at least there's an argument to be made there that they're showing off some gameplay. Here, though, there really is no argument. There is no reason a SpongeBob kit needs to show off all these other packs. They really have nothing to do with it whatsoever. So let me know what you think about that in the comments below, but I did think that was especially aggressive. Now, I know some people will say I'm just complaining. I am trying to critique. I swear I'm not gonna just go on rants all the time on this channel, but this rollout has really showed to me that they're really being aggressive, and I would say we already have so much advertising with Sims 4. The main menu is an advertisement of itself, and it goes even further because the live event is also pushing you to want to play with other packs. With all this in mind, again, there are ways to promote your packs, especially during the holidays, and I'm not against any advertising whatsoever, but when it doesn't feel organic and it feels this pushy, personally, it just pushes me away. Now, that aside, I do want to cover this review by Sims Community. You can look up reviews on YouTube, I'm sure, of the kits that people have covered, but the reason I want to cover this is not because I care too much about the kit, but it's more examples of where I feel they fell short if they're going to make such a big push for this kit and it's a big branded opportunity. And I do understand some people have nostalgia for this, so if people want to play and enjoy this, that's totally fine, but I would prefer it be executed in a better way. So let's move on to this very short review. It's basically just going over the bonus items. Now, of these bonus items, the first one is the Goofy Goober guitar. This guitar actually has 6 variants. Don't get too excited. It is just a regular Sims 4 guitar, so there's no special effects or interactions. Again, this isn't something I expected, but it's just something to keep in mind. Now, Sims Community does take issue with the GG letters on the guitar handle. Personally, I don't care one way or the other. I feel like this is one of the more subtle items in the kit overall, and some people could use it, I guess. I don't think this guitar looks very special, but I will go ahead and show you the swatches. As far as the swatches, I was actually interested to see that the swatches are kind of muted, almost a muted pastel. I actually expected brighter colors, so you can let me know in the comments below what you think about that. I would say of these, my favorite is probably the black and the blue, but I don't really know. Again, these aren't guitars I personally would use. I think we have better guitars than this, and they don't do anything special. Now, I will say one way I do agree with Sims Community Review is this is probably my favorite of the bonus items. This, of course, is the new aquarium. Now, what's great about this is there's actually some nice little details. There's a water effect, and of course, there are figures from the SpongeBob franchise. And of course, just like regular aquariums, you can purchase fish and use it. Now, I will say there is a little bit of a tease because there's a book underneath the aquarium, and apparently it shows a Krabby Patty recipe or hints at one. However, we do not have a recipe with this kit. Not that I expected a recipe, but just something to keep in mind. Now, this here is actually an example of something I think is decently executed. It does have a little special effect to it. It does also allude to the SpongeBob franchise, but it doesn't feel as in your face, and it's a lot more usable in my humble opinion than some of the other items. This is a lot more subtle and something I could see Simmers using. But again, some people do appreciate the over-the-top and wacky items. I'm not saying wacky items don't deserve a place in the Sims franchise, I definitely do. I just think that the kit and the way it was sloppily put together and the aggressive advertising is what is mostly turning me off. It's the bigger why of why they're doing this and also some of these tactics. I think 10 variants is decent. Yes, you do have some of those pastel colors, but aside from the pastel colors, you also get some wooden swatches, white and black. Now, I do know Sims 4 has a big issue with swatches not matching, and that probably is a topic for another day, so let's not get too deep into that. But moving on to the third and final bonus item, if you actually managed to get it. Now, as Sims Community says, did we really need another jungle gym? But that aside, it actually does have an eerie green glow effect, and yes, there is SpongeBob in the ship. The bad news about SpongeBob in the ship is that every single variant does include SpongeBob in the back, and there is no way to remove SpongeBob, so you better really want SpongeBob in the back for this bonus item. I would say of the bonus items, this is probably my least favorite, but again, I'm definitely not the target demographic for this kit. All in all, I'm not trying to pick on SpongeBob, and please in the comments do not pick on people for buying this kit. I just wish things were better executed. As I say so many times before, I feel like Sims 4 pushes things out way too much. They don't think enough about authenticity and making things feel organic. They're not very subtle about things, and the advertising is crazy. I especially take issue with the live event and also the promo pushing packs. Again, lots of ways to push Sims 4 packs, but I don't think we need that on top of everything else. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I will be covering Paralyze very soon, I hope so, and I really do appreciate you watching my videos. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.